The Auburn Tigers had one of the most impressive weeks we've seen a team have this season. Midweek win on the road against Georgia Tech, who's in first place in the ACC right now. And then they sweep LSU, a team that I believe 4 days ago I said is a clear top tier team in the SEC and in the country. Tier A. What do we think about the Auburn Tigers? Since they got swept 2 weeks ago, they've gone weekend series win against Alabama on the road and then a sweep over LSU. Are we thinking they're just hot at the right time, or is this a
Bama was
team,
at home.
that is just downright nasty, like a good team all the way around?
I think I think LSU just had a rough weekend at the plate. Auburn knew how to pitch them. They just executed pitches in every big moment. LSU didn't do anything. They limited damage every single time. LSU, I think, with like 3 for 20 something on the weekend with runners on or runners scoring. I think it was runners on. They just did nothing when guys were on base. Auburn tip your cap to them. They just limited them. That was pretty much all it was. And I think it was just a one-off weekend for LSU offensively. Because you saw what they did to Kyson Witherspoon a week, 2 weeks ago. They hit one of the top pitching staffs in the country. So I think it was just a bad weekend for the Tigers.
Right.
But give all the credit to Auburn. They outplayed them all weekend, and we're the better team.
Well, something I thought that was cool was like Sam Dutton, who was at LSU last year, comes in Friday night at home. He's one of my favorite guys to watch pitch. He mixes speeds well.
Straight out of Yellowstone.
Yes, yes. He's somebody that's not a thrower, and I don't think he's obsessed with getting drafted super high and trying to light up radar guns, which I totally understand players now, like trying to feed their families. Like, hey, I got to throw 95 plus to get that signing bonus. Nah, Sam Dutton is, hey, I'm going to pitch, I'm going to change speeds, I'm going to change the location, and I'm going to be in control of this game. So, I mean, he took it to his former team, and I think he's solidified himself as one of the better Friday night starters in the country right now.
I thought too, this is a series where every weekend we've had like a really exciting storyline about the team that was squaring off against Auburn, right? Like even back to that Alabama series where I'm like, man, I'm all in on the Tide. Well, finally, the conversation is too loud, right? Like dating back to Dimitri's point, that Georgia Tech win on Tuesday. It was such a good baseball game that meant a lot to that program. Guys, this was the first sweep of LSU since 1988 in Auburn baseball history. 19,000 people were in attendance this weekend, largest sellout crowds in the history of that program. If you build it, they will come. There's the old cliche line, but truthfully, they poured gas on the fire of this program last year, and they're reaping the benefits of it, man. We talked about it a little off air, this idea that Ike Irish is getting a ton of love behind the plate for them. He's been a monster defensively and at the dish too. But Cooper McMurray, that entire offense, like McMurray's raking. OPS over 1,300. And offensively, they're hitting 322 with 11 guys all hitting over 300. Like, these are wiffle ball, little league type numbers. And frankly, like, I did not give enough respect. I was not paying attention enough. And they sure as hell have it now, man. This offense is lethal and a team that's got to be worth a conversation, maybe a little bit louder moving forward.
Right. And one more thing about Auburn. They have series wins now against, I believe it's Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Alabama, and a sweep of LSU. They get swept at Georgia, at Georgia. Next weekend, this coming up weekend, they have to go to Austin, Texas to play, presumably, who's going to be the number one team in the country starting tomorrow. So it's like the road doesn't get much easier, but wow, are we going to find out a lot about this team?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about this pre-show, specifically Dimitri and I, and just from a handicapping perspective. One, before I even get to that, I lost a ton of money on Auburn this week. I had Georgia Tech. I took LSU twice in this series, but it was easy for me to understand, hey, why LSU had lost. This is a back-to-back road series. I talked about it just last show. I typically love taking the home teams against the team on a back-to-back road. They played at Oklahoma, huge weekend, especially for the pitching staff there. kept Oklahoma's offense down to low-scoring numbers in all three of those games. And then they traveled down to Auburn. Very impressive game from Dutton. Huge statement from Auburn as a whole from this series. I don't want to go in game by game specific because you guys already just did that. The purpose of this episode and why we're going through conference by conference is to talk about big storylines. And I think Auburn, they won this weekend, by and large, right? Let's talk big picture. I still am a little bit of a doubter on this Auburn team. No doubt, top 16 now. You got to now. I mean, we raised that bar because you're going to be an NCAA tournament team out of the SEC. There's how many teams in the top 13 of the RPI? We were talking about it pre-show. Where I have questions still on this Auburn team is on the mound. Can they do enough to win? Yes, they can sweep a regional, but especially at home. But do they have enough pitching to where if they fall down in the losers bracket in that home regional or in the first weekend of the College World Series, do they have enough to climb themselves out of it? I don't think so.
That's pretty bold to say right after back-to-back series wins. And I would disagree with you, Noah. I think that they have enough. And it sucks because Auburn gets this like weird stigma around social media and like around really just everybody in college baseball. They look at Auburn as like, oh, we're going to win that series. Maybe it's because like the last couple of years they were in the bottom of the SEC standings, but
Dude,
what Butch Thompson's able to do what?
It was like 1 year, maybe 2 years. They were in Omaha.
That's what I was saying is like traditionally, like they're probably the most consistent team outside of the big name guys like the Texas and the LSUs and Tennessees. Very consistent,
Auburn,
able to
no
get
doubt.
people out.
This Auburn team went into
I
Fort
think a
Valley
big reason-
and won that super regional when nobody picked them to win that and went to Omaha.
Dude, I respect Auburn's program a ton, and Butch Thompson is a huge reason for that. But we can't forget that just 2 years ago, this was a team that went 2-barbecue at Plainsman when they hosted a regional.
Yeah,
but it was nasty. Yeah, they had
that was the Penn, Samford, and Southern Miss regional. It was fun.
Big roof of the Ivy League beat them. Oops.
But anyways, maybe LSU on the bright side. If you're an LSU fan, you're gonna fit right into the hot, cold, hot theory, which traditionally plays pretty well in your favor.
Well, I don't think they're cold. It's just 1 weekend. Cold is like 3 weeks straight of just chaos.
They could get there though.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't know their schedule. I don't have their schedule in front of me. What do they have? What do they have the next 2 weekends?
We just said they're next.
They have they have Alabama, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Arkansas.
Not easy.
Oh, baby.
Texas A&M is now considered a tough weekend again. Are they, guys?
Are they?
Are they yet?